When I turned 16, I claimed my first car, a 2004 Hyundai Accent from my parents. They had bought it from some shady dealer downtown for $800. The vehicle was beat, having close to 230,000 miles. The paint was a faded yellow with a replacement maroon rear door. Third gear was choppy, but a new transmission would cost me more than the entire car. My family wasn't the richest on the block. Despite that, I was content with the vehicle. I would be able to go anywhere at heart's desire. At age 19, the Accent still ran and decided I could make a quick buck by working for Uber. Over the past few months, I've gotten used to driving people around downtown. I was the type of driver to not talk the entire way and respect whatever the person in the back was doing. All that mattered to me was that I was making decent money. With 2 jobs, pretty soon I could buy myself another car and ditch the old clunker. It was a Friday night. I had gotten used to driving around, waiting for calls. It was prime time for drunk people needing to get home. Eventually, I had gotten a call to pick someone up at an unmarked location. What was strange, however, was that when I was about a quarter mile from the location, I had recognized it to be the old market train station, which had been abandoned since before I was born. I pulled up near the boarded up entrance to the station and saw a tall Hispanic man waiting. He looked very professional, wearing an expensive looking suit and held a slim black briefcase. I wondered why he was at the old station. The location didn't suit him, since it was the rundown part of town. He opened the door and we greeted each other. He spoke in a strict but rather kind and assuring voice. I took off and asked him where he would like to go. "Take me to hell, please," he spoke, which completely caught me off guard. I didn't really know how to respond, so I just peeped out a quick, "Huh." His face remained straight. "All seriousness, man, where do you want to go?" I asked. "You'll know sooner or later." I assumed he was drunk, but his voice and tone were completely perfect. "I'll just take you to McDonald's, buddy." He didn't reply. "I'll take that as a yes," I said awkwardly. We were almost at the restaurant. All I had to do was take a left. What the fuck? I instinctively turned the opposite direction. It was like someone was controlling my mind. I tried making a U-turn, but I just couldn't. The man in the back just kept quiet. What the fuck is happening? Is this some kind of a joke? No answer. I knew deep inside that this was something supernatural. I tried to resist the feeling, but I couldn't get out of it. It was like I was in sleep paralysis. I made hundreds of turns, eventually not knowing where I was going. I didn't know where I was. By that time, the streets were completely empty. I took a right turn on an unmarked street. It was surrounded by trees. I couldn't see more than 100 yards in front of me. The road was completely straight with a constant downward slope. I floored the vehicle, shifting through gears faster than I could imagine. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. I looked at the speedometer. The Accent couldn't make it past 80 on the highway before, but the needle was topped out at 140. Soon, the needle made a full 360-degree rotation. I was going at least 200, and the engine was roaring louder than I could have ever imagined. I was so fixated at the speed of the vehicle that I didn't notice that the sky had turned red and was going downhill even further. It started getting immensely hot. My body heated up to the point where I thought my face was on fire. I was going to hell. I looked back at the man in the backseat. His face remained still, looking at me with lifeless eyes. Suddenly, I slammed on the brakes. I was used to the shitty brakes of the accident, thinking that we would slowly come to a stop, but I was jolted forward. The road was flat now, and we had come to a complete stop. "Thank you," said the man as he left the vehicle. I wasn't able to get a complete look at my surroundings, but I remember seeing the bodies. Piles upon piles of people, still alive, screaming in agony. I yelled out to the man, and he turned around. "Are you Satan?" He looked at me, and for the first time, smiled. Then, I lost consciousness. I woke up, terrified that I had died and went to hell. I checked my surroundings. I was at the old train station. I soon realized that I could move freely. I quickly opened the door and got out. The sky was normal. It was a cold summer night. No more screams. Had it been a dream? I looked back at my accident, horrified to notice what was in the backseat. It was the man's briefcase. Attached to it was a post-it note reading, "For a new car." I opened it, and inside the briefcase was $500,000.